Megan Fox.
And Megan Fox has the story.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox writes at PJ Media.
Eat Tucker.
And that was your last.
Damn it, man. I cried for 2 days.
Megan, thank you very much for that.
So, I can explain the bed thing.
If you don't show up and vote, up your ass. I don't care if you're in the hospital. Crawl to the stake. Crawl there.
It's like Jesus going into the temple. He's like, I got a whip. Get out! Get out! The lovely and wonderful Megan Fox. Not that one.
Not that one. Not the weird one that drinks blood in his toe thumb.
Megan Fox.
Megan. And honestly, Megan, if you don't like it, I'm sorry.
She's the devil.
Megan Fox. Megan Fox.
I've been very nice to you, although I could probably maybe not be based on the way you have treated me, but I wouldn't do that.
You've never met a like me. You want to tangle? You want to go?
Holy sh!
Too much cussing on this. I guess we didn't bleep it, so we got to turn it off. But it's
You pissed off the wrong woman.
oh my God, I have been assaulted when Megan Fox runs wild on you, brother.
She's the devil.
Not for publication.
The story.
I'm Megan Fox. Thank you. Cheers.
Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Megan Fox. I'm back on YouTube and on Rumble. We are simulcasting right now on both of these wonderful platforms, well, except YouTube, because YouTube is asshole. Not only did I get demonetized totally on YouTube, but apparently I've lost all credibility because I liked the new Indiana Jones movie. Now, I hated the Crystal Skull, but I liked the new one. And apparently that I've lost all my friends. I will never be able to show my face in this town again because I don't agree with the usual concern. You're already booing me. They're booing me in the chat already. Oh my God. All right. Don't forget that because this channel has been demonetized, the only way you can send me a super chat is to go on Cash App or Venmo. And I'm going to put that on the bottom of the screen and you can win a signed copy of my book. But before we get to that, Diego knows is my friend. Although maybe not after today. I don't know. He wants to yell at me about Indiana Jones. Here he comes.
How dare you?
Can we still be friends? I don't know.
Oh yeah, I guess so. You know,
I got to give away this
once
book.
you've been, you need to be educated.
I need to be educated. Oh no, he's gonna mansplain. He's gonna
you need to be educated.
I cannot wait for this. But before we get to it, I have to catch up on a raffle that I did the other day, and my what do you call those things? The power strip went out, and I wasn't able to access it, and so I missed the actual raffling off of the book. So before we get to the topic of the day, we are going to raffle. I got it back up. I got all your names, everybody who sent Cash Apps and Venmos the other day, the last time I did a stream, and I promised you I would spin the wheel. I swear to God, if it lands on Legal Vices, and I have to send this book to Korea, I know this is exactly what's going to happen. Are you ready? Here we go. All right. It's going to cost me like $30 to send a $20 book to Korea. Thank God it's not Legal Vices. It's Hunter Whim. All right. Now listen. If anybody knows Hunter, tell him to email me. Now, Hunter, I'm going to try and find you. You might be, I think you sent me a Venmo, so I can find you that way. I'm going to give it
He's
a
at the
week.
White House.
He's in the White House hiding more blow.
I mean, white.
Hiding more blow. Oh, my God. Oh, more white. God, can you believe there's cocaine at the White House? Actually, I wasn't that shocked by that. There's probably always cocaine at the White House.
I guess all the security cameras they have that cover every square inch of that building weren't turned on. So the Secret Service is investigating it. You know, it could be a few years.
Yeah, they're investigating. Sure. Hello, Rumble fans. How are ya? I thanks for the Rumble rant, Raceland. I will be adding you to the new wheel. In fact, let's do that now. Let's get rid of all of these names from last time, and we'll start a new one. Raceland 9000. So you send a Rumble rant or a super chat via Venmo or Cash App, which is running across the bottom of the screen, and I will read your message and also put you on the wheel for the book raffle. You can get one of these two books: Shut Up the Bizarre War. That one public, I forgot what my book is called. The One Public Library Waged Against the First Amendment, or Believe Evidence, The Death of Due Process from Salome to #MeToo. And I will sign it. I will make it out to whoever you want me to and send it to you in the mail.
And
all right.
It is a great book. It is a great book, by the way.
Yeah, Diego read it and took a
Twice.
lot of notes. We never even got through all your notes. You had so many. Maybe we'll get to some of those today. I don't know. All right. So for those of you who don't know, Diego knows he has a channel on YouTube, and now you're on Rumble, right?
Rumble, yeah, and Twitter. I posted on Twitter too. So.
All right, great. So Rumble, Twitter, and YouTube. And Diego should have a much bigger audience than he does. He cracks me up. I went through a period of time last year when I had no washing machine because it was broken, and my parts were on a slow boat from China, literally. And I had to go to the laundromat like 3 times a week. And every single time I was at the laundromat, I had Diego's channel up, and I was listening back to all your videos, old ones, new ones. I was listening to your end just like that, recaps, and then your Sex and the City recaps. And you make me laugh so hard. I told Mike Harlow, because we're doing a show tonight, we're going to do an And Just Like That episodes 1 through 3 or 4, maybe 1 through 4. I'm not sure what we're doing. We're doing an And Just Like That.
There's 4 of them now. There's 4 now.
Right, I saw it. It was awful. And we're doing Just Like That recap tonight on his channel. And I told him, I'm like, you got to reach out to Diego. You're going to love this guy. He started watching your channel. He's like, I love him already. He's so funny. Anyway, these reviews from a straight man's point of view. That's important because we know that Sex and the City was written by a gay man, Michael Patrick Dickhead, we like to call him. But he wrote these men in the show that are really just like, well, let you explain it. You tell them what you do.
Well, his birth name is Michael Patrick Queen. Okay, that's his birth name. But yeah, the problem I've always had with the show is that, they don't really depict guys well. Like straight men are not depicted well in the show at all. Never have been, ever since the original show. And every once in a while they did get it right. I related to some of the guys. Like I related to Big in a way. Probably, I know you all hate me for this, you Sex and the City fans, but the one I related to the most was Jack Berger. Okay, I knew that guy. I was Jack Berger. Okay, I was that guy.
Wait. Would you be threatened by a woman who was more successful than you? That was what I found really unattractive about him.
Well, they have the same. I have dated women more successful than me.
Does that upset you though?
It upset me more in the early 2000s than it does like today.
Why would you be upset by a woman who makes more money or who's more famous, or I don't know. I don't get it.
Well, you got to remember that Jack Berger and Carrie were in the same profession, that same publisher. They were both authors. They were in the same field. She was more successful because she had a weekly column, and then she had a a book which wasn't selling very well in America, but it was selling great in France. Whereas he had one book published that nobody bought, and then his second book was, well, he had to keep rewriting it and stuff. So he wasn't as successful as her, but they were in the same field, you know. Me personally, I have dated women that are more successful than me, but they were in specialized fields. Okay, you know, like I had a girlfriend who worked for Homeland Security. Okay, and she couldn't even tell me what she was doing. All right, it had something to do with satellites and the Taliban. That's all I knew.
Oh boy, oh my, that's kind of
interesting. So I knew what it was like to date women with more specialized fields that make more money and stuff. But I think with Jack Berger, I think the biggest problem with him was he really he kept a lot of his insecurity inside. He tried to hide it, you know, and because of that, he would lash out and do stupid things. And I completely understood that guy. Oh my God. That was scary.
Even the Post-it note, I'm sorry, I can't. That was the worst.
That's the one everyone remembers. I've never done that before. Today, that would be called ghosting. That wouldn't be called a Post-it note. You know, I have ghosted before, but I never broke up with a girl over a Post-it note. Okay, yeah, I have just quit calling a girl. I just quit calling a girl. You know, I never messaged her again. I've done that before, but not over a Post-it note.
The chat is telling me that your mic has an echo, but I'm not hearing it. You guys, can somebody else confirm? Is Diego's microphone echoing? I can try and fix it. Is it too? I don't think it's too loud. I hear him good, and I don't hear an echo. So. Let me turn off the auto adjust. Let's see. No, I don't think so because I've got headphones in, so it's not feeding back through mine. Somebody in the chat tell me, is it just Bianca hearing the echo, or is it because it might be maybe it's her, or is it everybody else? Because I don't hear one. No, Pesky doesn't hear one either. Okay, we'll move on. All right, I think you sound fine. All right.
Thank you.
All right, so. You did all these reviews basically from a straight guy's point of view, and it was fantastic to me because I really never thought about it that way because I'm a woman. And the show was for women, it wasn't for men. So I just never considered how men viewed it. And when I watched it,
wasn't for straight guys.
Yeah, it wasn't for straight guys. It was like for women and gay men. And which is fine. You can, they can make content for that audience. But it was funny hearing it back through your point of view because I really never considered how straight men would think about that show. So if you guys want to be entertained, go watch Diego Knows Sex and the City recaps because it made me look at it a totally different way. Certain episodes and things that happened that I found really funny, you were so offended by. And it was like, oh my God, you're right. You're right. That actually is offensive, but it was funny. So, okay, the chat wants me to get to Indiana Jones. They say that they want to know why I liked it. So why don't I start by telling you why I liked it? I have a couple of categories when it comes to movies that I bring my kids to see, where if they check certain boxes, I think it's a good movie. For one, there was nothing inappropriate in it that I needed to shield little ears or little eyes from. Nothing.
Okay, that's subjective. But all right. Continue.
Well, okay. Well, you just wait. You can tell me what's inappropriate. Maybe I'll be like, yeah, you're right. So there was nothing that like set my alarm bells off. Two, it was classic Indiana Jones. They went back to the ridiculous car chases and horseback rides and lots of action, which is what you expect. Somebody today on Twitter was like, I stopped watching after the horse in the subway moment. I'm like, what? That's classic Indy. You don't go to see Indiana Jones to see believable things. This is an unbelievable story. It is not, it's unbelievable stunts. I don't know if you guys ever went to Universal and saw the Indiana Jones live action stunt thing. But it's a ton of live action crazy stunts that would never happen in real life. And the boulder rolling after them down the tunnels and these ridiculous traps that he finds everywhere with spears coming, out of the wall. And that stuff doesn't happen. So what a horse in a subway is too much for you? Come on. I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. I thought I hadn't seen it before. I never saw a horse galloping down the subway tracks, so at least somebody thought outside of the box. The third thing I look for is, are the kids entertained? Like, did it hold their attention? Was there something redeeming about it? And I found it good. I loved Marion coming back. I love the fact that she hasn't screwed with her face. I think she's completely recognizable. And the people saying she's unrecognizable just don't know what people look like anymore when they get older. And of course, Harrison Ford would, just saying, and he's still looking amazing. I love seeing him. Maybe they should have stopped making these movies after the first three. I mean, that's an argument that could be made about every remake in Hollywood. But I appreciate, as a kid from the 80s, seeing Indiana Jones presented in the way that didn't make me sick. I didn't see any woke nonsense in it. I was expecting to see this woman emasculating him all the time. And okay, there will be spoilers in this, by the way. So if you haven't seen the movie and you don't want it to be spoiled, you probably shouldn't listen. But I didn't see anything except for the last scene where people are complaining, where, oh yeah, she knocks him out and then he just wakes up like a week later. That's not probable. But that's your usual Hollywood bullshit that they do when they make women strong and they are not strong, and everyone knows this. But you know that's going to happen. I thought maybe the end of the movie could have been a little different. But overall, I thought it was great. And I think we all overreact sometimes because there's so much woke garbage in everything that when we see even a tiny bit of it, we go out of our minds. And we're like, oh, we're not going to watch that. It's terrible. All right. So that's my argument. I liked it. Uh-oh. Okay. Give it to me.
First of all, I just want to get the disclaimer out of the way. There's absolutely nothing wrong, Megan, for liking this movie. If you like that movie, that's your opinion. You have every right to that opinion. I am not going to try to convince you not to like it at all. I would never do that to anybody. Okay? I mean, I like Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo. All right? And nobody's going to tell me that movie's not a classic. Okay?
You also don't you also like Saturday Night Fever?
It's probably the greatest movie ever made.
Yeah, so you love
that'll be a different. I based my entire life on that movie.
I know, and I hate that movie, but I love you.
I named my son after the character in that movie. All right, that's how much I like Saturday Night Fever. I got the poster right over there. If you don't believe me, okay, it's right over there. Okay, so yeah, I based my entire life on that movie. I also have the PG version as well on VHS. When they re-released it in 1979, they re-released it. That's the first time I saw it. When I was a little boy, because I couldn't see the rated R because I was only 4 years old.
Maybe I would have liked it better if the first version I saw was the one for TV. I loved the dancing. The soundtrack was incredible. I thought the story was just so depressing. I was so depressed by it. It just depressed me. And I think, I don't know. It's been a while since I saw it, so I can't get into specifics. But all right, sorry, I'm getting off the topic.
I've been depressed my whole life until I saw that movie, and then I woke up and I was alive for the first time in my life.
Wow!
But anyway, we're not talking about it.
I know, but maybe
we can. That's a whole other video, though. What do you want to know?
I know.
But
we'll have to get to that. That's funny.
Yeah, the major difference is the 1977 version did not have Disco Duck in it. The 1979 version did. All right. That's the biggest difference. I didn't go with the swear words are gone. Okay, well, so we're talking about Indiana Jones here. Okay, well, there's nothing wrong with liking the movie. Okay, I concede the fact that, yes, there's going to be people that enjoy this movie. Okay, no matter what, I get it. There's always going to be someone that likes something that nobody else likes. It's always going to happen. I guess I'm not going to try to convince you that you're wrong. I'm not going to shame you. Okay, I know the internet is going to cancel you, that's for sure. But I'm not. All right. So yeah, you're entitled to your opinion. You have every right to believe what you want to believe. Okay, so that's the case. But I do ask you to make one slight concession to me, though. Okay, and that is, you do realize that this movie has bombed financially. You are aware of that, right? That
no,
nobody's
I haven't been
watching.
paying attention. I don't know how it did. So tell me.
It came out last week. It came out for the 4th of July weekend, so it basically had 5 days.
That's when we saw it, opening weekend.
This past weekend that we just had was its second weekend, okay? And it got beaten by a movie called Insidious 4, Part 4, a low-budget horror movie starring Patrick Wilson.
Oh, no. Part 4.
It came in number 2 to that movie. Okay, this is Indiana Jones, okay? This isn't King Solomon's Mines. This isn't a Laura Croft reboot. This is Indiana freaking Jones.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones.
They kind of ruined it with the Crystal Skull, though. You know, I think
Okay.
people gave up on that after that.
It did not do any. It did not do Indiana Jones any favors. Okay, but in my personal opinion, I would rather watch the Crystal Skull than watch this piece of crap. Okay?
Really?
I would.
Okay, I'm so interested in why you hated it. Why did you hate it? What is wrong with it? What did I not see?
Well, first of all, the movie was woke. Okay, it was woke. Okay, not as woke in the sense of what we had. Okay, the movie was written in 2016. Okay, that's when they hired Phoebe Waller-Bridge. That's when they hired all these people. Okay, Kathleen Kennedy approved it. All that kind of stuff happened. But you got to remember, it faced a lot of production delays. They spent they spent over $300 million to make this movie. Okay, over three. It hasn't even made half that yet.
Wow.
Okay, it's at right now. The last time I checked, it's like at 179, but it's $326 million that we know about. Okay, and that's not including marketing. Marketing, you add another 150 million to that.
Wow. And
then don't forget the percentage that the theaters get. They get 50%. In China, the theaters are going to get 60%. Okay, so right now the movie's at about $179 million. Okay, wow. It was beaten by Insidious Part 4 this weekend. Okay, so that should tell you something.
I know, right? That's insane.
Yeah, I've never even seen those movies, and it beat Indiana Jones.
But when you said it faced production delays, what I understood was it faced those delays because it got screened and the audience hated it so much, and there was so much feedback about how horribly woke it was, and the ending by erasing Indiana Jones from history and making this woman take his place was like people were ready to riot, and so they had to rewrite the ending and take out a lot of the jokes and things that they put in where she was emasculating him. And that I think, when I see that, I think that's a great sign that they had to send it back to the drawing board and be like, whoops, the audience hated it. Because I want my movie companies to listen to audience feedback. I want them to go back to the drawing board if they have gotten it wrong. And I thought that was a good sign. I thought, well, Iger's maybe going to save the day here at Disney and tell these woke idiots to stop it and quit doing this. So are you saying that I know they took out a lot of it. Did they not? What else? What did I miss besides the punching out scene? Because that's the only thing I saw where I was like rolling my eyes, like, okay.
Well, the movie was filmed. Everybody was hired. The movie was filmed. They did the first test screening. It actually got leaked. There's a YouTuber called Doomcock, and he has spies inside Disney. And 2.5 years ago, they leaked to him the information about the test screenings, which were private. Okay, and they said that the audience was upset because Phoebe Waller-Bridge, because Indiana Jones dies at the end at the movie. He goes back in time. He dies in the end, and he gets erased from history, and Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character becomes the new Indiana Jones. She takes over the whole franchise from that point on. Okay, right. She emasculated him throughout the entire movie. Yeah, so it got leaked. Okay, and James Mangold, actually the director, posted something on Twitter telling people that, to shut up and stuff. You don't know anything about my movie. Doomcock is a liar and that kind of stuff. Don't believe anything that comes from a YouTuber that doesn't show his real face, or that kind of thing. All right. So he berated all of us for even thinking that way, but they did approve reshoots. Now, who knows how much money those reshoots cost? Okay. If you watch the movie again, you will notice this movie is a Frankenstein monster. It was patched together. Okay. You can tell there was lots of reshoots in this movie where the hair doesn't match. The tone doesn't match. The actors look considerably older. Like maybe this scene was shot 3 years later after the scene just before it, that kind of thing.
Boy, I am not.
I noticed that.
I am not observant like that. I don't know if it's my ADD or what, but I would have to see a movie at least 3 or 4 times, before I would start noticing those things.
Justice League. Watch the Justice League from 2017, and then watch the Zack Snyder version. Okay, well you'll clearly see that in the 2017. You had like Ben Affleck there. The next thing he's fat because he came back because he was going through his divorce and he relapsed and he had to come back for reshoots. So he's completely out of shape. And then the next thing he's slim again. So I was like, what the? But I saw stuff like that in the movie. So what they did is they cut the movie apart. They had to do reshoots. So you're correct. They had to remove those jokes. They had to remove all that stuff. But the problem is that the movie was already filmed. They already made the movie. Okay, so the only thing they can do now, they can't go back to and get a new location to shoot a different scene or anything like that. The script was already written, so all they could do is reshoots. Okay, so they cut out a lot of the stuff, a lot of the emasculating that Phoebe Waller-Bridge does. Okay, and they patch together a different Indy, so that Indy doesn't die. And you can tell Okay, and the biggest indicator of this is when you watch the climax of the movie, they go back in time. They go back in time to what, like 400 BC or something like that, or during the Roman Empire when at the Battle of Syracuse. Okay, when they go back in time there, just think about this for a minute. Okay, this is the climax of the movie. Okay, they go back in time. They're in Syracuse. You've got the ballisters that are shooting the harpoons at the boats. And then all of a sudden, here comes this World War II plane. Okay, and Indiana Jones is in there, and all this crazy stuff is happening. He parachutes out of there. He's there with people. He's already been shot. He got shot in the chest like 6 hours ago, and he's still alive. All right. So Phoebe Waller-Bridge is there, and he tells her, "Hey, just leave me here. I want to stay here. I want to die here. They have no medicine here, so I'm going to die a slow, painful death from infection. But just leave me here. I don't want to go back to 1969. Okay. Okay. And Archimedes is going to be here, and I get to hang out with him for the rest of my life. That kind of stuff." And Phoebe Waller-Bridge says, "No, you can't do that." Blah, blah, blah. And she knocks him out. Okay. That's the end of the movie. That's the climax of the movie. The very next scene, he's back in New York. He's back in the. I guess he didn't go to a hospital. Okay. He's back in New York. He's back in a shitty fucking apartment. Okay. And he brings back Marion. Okay. Who just showed up at the end of the movie. She just showed up. Okay. So whatever marital problems they had that she left him for, we don't know what they are, but apparently they're resolved. You know, there is still a warrant out for his arrest because they think that he killed two of the faculty
we know
members.
what they are. We know what they were. It was because she couldn't handle losing their son, so her grief just drove them apart. Apparently, we know what she left for. We don't know why they came back. Why she came back? Okay, because the situation hadn't changed. Do we have to know? Like, do we?
I would like to.
Important? Do we have to know?
I would like to know why Marion took him back. Okay.
Well, why she got back some more time on that. That's true. They could have spent more time on.
He almost died. Well, that's been their whole marriage. He's almost died every day that he's been around.
I would have liked to have seen more of that of Marion and their relationship. That would have been better. Yes. It would have been better to see that. I would have liked to see.
I think that was tacked on.
And I think
that was tacked on every season.
I didn't particularly love Phoebe, whatever her name is. I don't particularly like her as an actress. But I hate
her.
I didn't find her like we're more interested in Marion, the character of Marion, than we are in her because we don't know her.
We didn't get her.
And we didn't get her. I was kind of expecting that Marion would be part of this movie, that they might go on an adventure together. That's what I thought would happen when I heard she was coming back. Not that she would be absent for the whole thing and just kind of like a ghost hanging over the movie and then show up at the end. It would have been better, in my opinion, if Marion had been part of it and then they could come back together throughout that process.
She should have been part of the adventure. Absolutely. That could have been the story. It's how they reconnect with each other.
But of course, Hollywood can't let an over 50 woman be part of the adventure because they want to have the young woman that people, find attractive, although she's not that attractive.
She's not attractive. She's not as good looking as my asshole. Honestly.
She's not that attractive. I don't know.
No, she's ugly.
I think Marion.
That's one way of saying it, or you can just say she's ugly. Yeah, I think she's ugly.
Yeah, she's not.
But the point is, real quickly, as far as the climax goes, all right, they spent tens of millions, who knows how many millions of dollars spent on the CGI to recreate Rome, to recreate the Battle of Syracuse, to recreate the special effects, the harpooning, the machine gunning, all that kind of stuff. Okay, they spent all this money to do this, only for Indiana Jones to get knocked out. Okay, that never would have happened under Spielberg. All right, if they're going to spend all this money to go back in time and shoot the climax there, something important has to happen. There has to be some sort of an action scene involving Indiana Jones, not involving Nazis shooting at unarmed Romans. Okay, for no reason. Okay, there would have to be something. Indiana Jones would have to be involved in some sort of big action spectacle, and that did not happen. That entire sequence, the climax of the movie, he's wounded. Okay, Phoebe Waller-Bridge is yelling at him to not die because he's suicidal now. Okay, and then she punches him. That is not. How could you spend hundreds of millions of dollars on a climax just to get that? Okay, you could have done that in a room in a warehouse. You see what I mean? That tells me this is a reshoot.
But
they reshot the ending.
The Battle of Syracuse thing, really, I didn't see it coming because I didn't know any of this stuff beforehand. I wasn't paying attention to the leaks and stuff. So I didn't know what was coming. And when that happened, I got such a big kick out of it. I laughed so hard. I did. I just thought, this is funny. I like it. I like Nazis fighting Romans. I just found it funny. I found it hilarious. I don't know why. I just liked it. I thought it was fun. But I agree with you that the ending, that was one of the things that's like the only thing where I was like, could have been better. But I would not have wanted to see an ending where Indiana Jones is dead and removed from time.
Well, that's just one thing. Okay, how about the kid that learned how to fly by hanging out with a pilot at a bar?
Yeah, right.
You know, come on. Even though the actual pilot of that plane is in the back, asleep the whole time.
But then again, this is one of those movie series that is not supposed to be believable. It is supposed to be fantastic.
You're right. But it must be plausible. It must be not believable, plausible.
It is not plausible that a Nazi's face melts off after opening the Ark. It is not plausible that you can reach your hand inside the chest of a guy and rip his heart out. That's not plausible.
If you buy into the idea of magic, of the supernatural, if you buy into the idea of God, that God sent out his electrical lightning to skewer the Nazis, then you can be like, okay. And that was the point of that movie.
Right.
That was the point of that movie, is there's things out there that you'll never understand, no matter how much of a scientist you are. And that's why India had to accept that. Close your eyes, don't look at it. Don't look at it. In other words, they're telling you are not capable of understanding this.
See, this is why I love him.
So know your place. Know your place.
This is why I love him, because I'm like, no. And then he says something. I'm like, no, you're right. Nah, he's right. He's right. You're right. That's true. That's true. And I mean, was there anything like that in this movie? Was there anything? Because that's like a deeper spiritual message, isn't it? There's like a real, like the Last Crusade. The Last Crusade. One of the things I loved, that's probably my favorite Indiana Jones movie, because I love Sean Connery and I just love the two of them together. And I thought that was a brilliant movie. My favorite scene in that movie is when they're trying to choose the cup, right? Which one is the cup of the Lord? And of course, the Nazi goes for the golden cup, the beautiful chalice, the golden one. And Indy chooses the carpenter's cup, the wooden old cup. And I just thought that was so, I mean, to me, that was a profound moment. There's so many things you can extrapolate out of that. And there was really a lot of thought put into it. There was a lot of thought put into it. And the knights, the one remaining knight who's still there. And I mean, I just love everything about the Last Crusade. And obviously this movie is not on that level. It is not on that level, but I guess for me, I have a low bar when it comes to movies these days, because there's so little that I can show my kids. There's so little that I think anybody does anymore that is good for kids to watch or fun for them, or not, what's the word? Not damaging to them. And I didn't see anything damaging in this movie. There wasn't any message that I was like having to say to them, hey, that's baloney. Don't listen to that. So I appreciate that, but I guess my bar is low. Let me look at the Rumble rants for a second. I got to get caught up. Billy Aoki says, I could use a book and some fat shaming. Okay. Well, Billy, if you're listening to this right now, you can get up from wherever you are and start doing squats. Do not post a chat until you do at least 20 squats and maybe a few jumping jacks, because you're not getting any thinner sitting there watching this program. No, you're not. You can listen while you move. So I've put you on the wheel. Hopefully you win. Raceland, you're on the wheel again. Raceland says, on the 4th, it got beat by Sound of Freedom. Have you seen it? I did not see it. I know all about it. My sister went to see it while she was staying with me over the 4th, and they came home, she and her husband, and they were both completely floored by it. Now, she was relating all of this stuff to me about what's going on, and I'm like, I know. I've been reporting on it for years.
I'm almost done watching it.
I know all about it, and I'm a little worried to watch it because I have secondary PTSD from the people I work with who go through this kind of stuff. And I've had to take a break from the work that I do just because of how dark it is. And so I'm very well aware, but I do encourage all of you to go and see that movie. It's based on a true story. Child sex trafficking is a real problem in this world. It is a real problem in this country. It is a real problem in foster care. The United States foster care system is the largest child trafficking system in the country. And everybody knows it, including the State Department. So does
Hollywood.
Yeah, and nothing's being done about it. So there are a lot of children who are at risk, and please go and see that movie. And I watched, I guess at the end of it, James Caviezel, I saw somebody posted this on Twitter. There is a way to buy tickets for this movie to give away to friends who might not otherwise go and see it. And I think that's a wonderful thing. And they also provided a bunch of free tickets. So you can gift them to someone who might not go see this movie, or people who maybe don't know what's going on. If you can do that, that is the best thing you can do, is give somebody a ticket to this movie and get the word out. Because James Caviezel made the point. He said slavery in America really saw its death knell when Harriet, what was her name? Harriet Beecher Stowe wrote Uncle Tom's Cabin. And that, because it was in a form of entertainment that was so widespread and millions of Americans read it, it suddenly, the tide turned against American slavery. And it can happen again. It can happen again. But yes, we need as many people as possible to see that. I'm going to check the Cash App and the Venmo. Somebody sent me Desiree, you're also on the Wheel of Names. Desiree sent a Venmo, says, been missing your locals YouTube Rumble videos that come almost every day. Understand, since you now have 5,001 jobs. Well, I got fired last night by a 20-year-old, so I have one less job now. Do love Tales from the Restaurant and can't wait for more cooking vids when you have time and other live streams. So I will tell the story of my firing. I think I'm fired. I'm not sure. I was told to get out by a 20-year-old last night for some reason. She doesn't like me very much. But I am going to tell that tale on Locals. So meganfox.locals.com. Make sure that you're subscribed over there, because it's pretty hilarious. And yeah, I don't know. Have you ever been fired by a 20-year-old, Diego? It's weird.
I probably have. Yeah, probably.
It's really weird.
Yeah, it sucks. It all depends on what you're doing, you know.
Well, I guess I'm too good of a waitress. She doesn't want me there.
Yeah.
So
yeah. When I waited tables, I almost got fired over Dionne Warwick. Go figure. Oh, what a rude customer she was. Oh my God.
Oh, you mean she actually came into my
restaurant? I waited on her. Yeah. Oh my God. I was like, hey, love power. It rules us. And she didn't find that funny at all. Like, I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, sorry. Oh my God.
It takes love power. It moves us.
Flux,
yeah, she didn't think it was funny. She complained.
Oh, that's funny. Flux, did you send was it $10? Because there's no message on it and it doesn't have a name. So if that was you, I'm putting you on the wheel because I believe you. But for some reason, there's no name on it, which is so bizarre. But thank you for the Cash App. I appreciate it, because since we cannot get any YouTube Super Chats anymore because YouTube hates me, kind of like 20-year-olds at bars, I got to go with Cash App and Venmo. So they're rolling across the bottom of the screen. Get your signed copy of my book. When we get up to, if we hit $100 today, I'll give it away today. If we don't, we'll do it tonight. We'll do it tonight on Mike's show. I'll finish it up on Mike's show. So you guys have to tune in to Mikey Harlow on YouTube tonight if we don't hit $100 today. All right, let's see. I'm checking the chat to see what you guys think about this. If you have any questions and stuff, throw your questions in to if you want to hear Diego, answer your questions. He knows a lot more about entertainment than I do. He's been following all of this, movies and entertainment forever, and he knows a lot of the inside stuff. Steve Gosney, thanks for being here, says the problem is that Disney has thrown their reputation completely in the trash and no one is going to trust their products. Once trust is lost, it's incredibly difficult to get back. Google, YouTube is there also. I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that they have, and I think that makes people not want to go see their movies. I refuse to go and watch that or take my kids to that new Buzz Lightyear abomination. So we never saw that. We wouldn't go to see that new Pixar film, the one Elements or Elemental.
Elemental. I saw it. I saw Buzz Lightyear too.
You know what's funny, Diego, is that I saw the poster for it. I didn't know anything about the movie. All I saw was the poster, and I was like, yeah, maybe I'll take my kids to that today because my husband was out of town and we were doing nothing. I'm like, maybe I'll go take them. And then a little voice inside my head went, that looks dumb. Don't take them. So I go home, and I kid you not, within 15, 20 minutes, I'm on Twitter, and I see the announcement that they've made one of the characters in that thing non-binary. So they put Che Diaz. They basically put Che Diaz in the Elemental movie. What the?
No, it's a little kid. It's a little kid, a little boy that identifies as non-binary. But it's a blink and you'll miss it scene. It's like the kid's only there for like a couple of seconds. It's no big deal.
I still don't care. I don't care. I'm not going to take part in any of that. I don't care how short it is. I don't care how they're injecting this stuff in so that we will get used to it. And then the next thing you know, we're going to be watching their, scenes like what we had to sit through and Just Like That, Miranda Hobbs strapping on a strap-on dildo, 8 different strap-on dildos. And we're like, what the hell is happening here? That's how it happens. They start out.
No, there's other stuff on and Just Like That a lot worse than what you just described. Okay, a lot worse.
Really?
A lot worse.
I can't think of anything worse than that. That was the worst thing.
The first 30 seconds of episode 1, season 2. Okay, if I never have to see that again.
Oh God, yes.
I never have to see that again. I never have to see that again.
Oh, it was pretty bad. You know what? It was the worst part to me about that was how unrealistic it is that women, get dressed up in lingerie every night to go to bed. It was so stupid.
Yeah. How come that never happened to me?
We wear T-shirts. I hate to break it to you, but we wear T-shirts and like granny nightgowns. That's what we do.
I know. I know girls wear that. And that ain't it.
No, nobody is wearing those things. Like, ain't nobody wearing that. Like, they're really uncomfortable, and like it takes forever to get into. Like, nobody's doing that. Nobody.
Not if you're gonna bone. Okay, if you're gonna do a lingerie ad, you'll wear that. Okay, but if you're just gonna, bump uglies, you're not gonna wear that. No.
Yeah, pretty much the signal is like, oh, she's brushing her teeth before. Great. Everybody's brushing their teeth. That means that's probably happening in the dirty T-shirt. Yeah. But nobody,
absolutely.
Nobody like that before they go to bed. It's ridiculous. With a full face of makeup and everything. Like, come on.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
it's just not believable.
It's just not believable, right? And Just Like That is terrible. Absolutely
Never was.
Terrible. So I want to know, since you've seen, or at least you're watching, Sound of Freedom, what are your thoughts so far on it?
Well, I'm almost done watching all of it. Okay. I got to be honest with you. I can't watch this movie with my son. Obviously, I got to watch it when he's not around or when he's in another room, because I don't want my son to see this movie. Especially, there's a boy who's the main character in this movie that's my son's age. And the stuff they do to him in that movie, it's I don't need my son to be around that. I got to be honest with you, Megan. Watching the reason it's taking me so long to watch this whole movie is because I get so angry. I get so freaking angry, that I've got to like pause it. I got to turn it off. I'll watch some more of it later. I get so freaking angry watching this. And I've done my own research on this topic, and United States of America is the #1 consumer of this stuff. And they're the #1 consumer of this stuff. That should tell you something about our culture.
It should tell you something about our country too, and the fact that what really was upsetting to my sister and her husband, it was the 4th of July weekend, and they came home going, I don't want to be a part of this country anymore. Like, I don't love my country anymore. After seeing that, I don't love my country because I'm concerned that now I'm living with people who are doing this, who are taking part in this. And how can this country be the best, the greatest country on earth when we are the number one purveyor of this stuff? We're the number one.
Are you really? Yeah. Are you really shocked by an Epstein Island? Is that really shocking after watching this movie that that such a thing as an Epstein Island would exist? Is that really shocking anymore?
Why aren't there riots in the streets over the fact that no one who went to that island has been prosecuted when they had his black book? So
when one person's been prosecuted.
Well, but she was his partner, so it's really just the two people who ran it, and you don't have not one person who took part in this has even been named other than the flight logs. And then we're supposed to believe that maybe they were on those for other reasons. Like, it just doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense.
You know exactly why.
Right. Because our country is bullshit. Our country is bullshit. It's
Look at the
run by the
trades.
people. It's run by the people who are using that island.
They're
Clearly.
goons, yeah.
Clearly. So what do we? Oh, rah USA? No thanks. No thanks. I'm done with that. I'm done with it.
The reason, if you'll notice the trades, all the trade magazines, you know, the Hollywood Reporter, all that stuff, you know, BuzzFeed, all of them, they're all condemning this movie. They're calling it, it's far right propaganda. It's QAnon is what it is, which is some bullshit conspiracy theory. Yeah. Oh, it's a bunch of far right Trump supporters, you know. They think that the Jews run the world, and this is just another example of anti-Semitism. You know, there's no anti-Semitism in this movie. You know, that's what they're saying. It's a far right conspiracy theorist. You know, that's all it is. Okay, don't waste your money on this stuff, right? Well, why do you think they're saying that? Okay, why do you think they're saying that?
I want to address
it's pretty obvious.
So this is what I get when I say things like America is not the greatest country in the world. You know, there are worse places. Let me tell you this, Zeno. There are no worse places on the earth for child sex trafficking. This one's the worst. It's number one. We've known it for a long time. I've known that for years. It's not a revelation to me. It's now becoming a revolution to everybody, a revelation to everybody else now that we are number one in child sex trafficking. How can you call that country the greatest place on earth? There are plenty of places greater than this place that are not doing that. And frankly, it makes me want to get off. Like, it makes me want to move because I don't want to live with people who are okay with doing that. Hey, buddy, can you close my door? You came in here, but you left the door open, sweetie. Nope.
You know, the movie points out that it's quickly overtaking the drug trade as the number one illicit source of revenue. You know, it's going to overtake the drug trade. And why is that? Well, you can only sell drugs once.
I got to go close my door. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
My kid.
The movie says the reason human trafficking is going to take over the drug trade is because you can only sell drugs once, but you can sell children, 5-10 times a day.
Horrible.
It's horrible.
It's
horrible.
It's horrible. I and we all need to be more aware of what is going on, and be careful, especially when you're traveling, and pay attention to children who are traveling with adults, and report if you see anything weird, see anything out of the ordinary, because it's happening all over the place. And apparently our government knows certain highways are like major thoroughfares for this behavior, for what's going on. And I think, how do they know this? And then there aren't major busts every single weekend.
Well, the movie points out that, we're pretty good as far as catching the people that consume this stuff, the people that are watching it online, that kind of thing. We're pretty good at that. But we're not good at actually rescuing the kids. We're not good at actually, the people that are doing it.
Well, yeah, because guess what? When they find the kids, do you know what they do? They send them to our foster care system, and then the foster care system is rife with these people. They're picking them from foster care, and they literally there are websites that certain states have up for their foster children, where they have their pictures, their ages, and everything that's open to the public, and it literally says in little blurbs about them that this child has been abused. What? Like, it's a catalog, because abusers look for children who have already been abused, and in the foster care system, they are the most at-risk children. So they're just putting them right back into the cycle, into the mix. I interviewed U.S. Marshals who had rescued a bunch of children who had been found in sex trafficking they were lost out of a couple of different states. And I interviewed a U.S. Marshal, and I asked him, well, they had been lost from foster care. And I said, well, where did you return them? Because that wasn't in any of the articles. So what happened to the kids? Oh, they got sent back to foster care. We had to turn them over to CPS. You gave them back to the organization that lost them to sex trafficking? Is that really what? There has to be a different way to do this. There just has to be. So I don't know. Anyway, I promised you we were going to talk about Indiana Jones, and here we are talking about dark shit again, which absolutely makes me crazy. So let's get back to it. All right. So tell me what you said that Indiana Jones, this new one, is woke. But I still don't understand what was really woke about it. I thought on the woke scale, it was like a 4 out of a 10. And everything out of Hollywood is going to be woke. So you know when you're going to see something, it's going to have something in it you don't like.
Well, what was woke about it to me was, first of all, Indiana Jones was not the main character. He was the co-star. Okay, Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character, Helena Shaw, she's the main character of the movie. Okay, the story's about her adventure. She's the one that wants the Dial of Destiny. She's the one that's trying to get it for whatever reason, because I guess she has an attachment to her father, or who was Indiana Jones' one of his best friends or something, whatever. You know, so Indy has to follow her through her adventure. Okay, it's about Helena Shaw. It's not about Indiana Jones. Okay, and and if you want me to follow Helena Shaw and like her, okay, then she's got to show me that she's likable. Okay, the very first time we meet her, she's lying to Indiana Jones. Okay, she wants to get this Dial of Destiny. Okay, and what really turned me off to her was in the beginning. Remember when the Nazis showed up at the school and they started killing the faculty, and they're in that warehouse and they're trying to get away. What does Helena Shaw do? She locks Indiana Jones in there with the Nazis, and so like, sorry, gotta go.
Did I miss
him there
that?
to die.
Did I miss?
Yes, you did.
I guess I missed that. Okay,
I will
tell you, I did not like her because I was like, wait a minute. I thought she wanted to rescue this thing, but no, she's selling it. Like that didn't make sense. And then she had a change of heart halfway through that we don't even really understand. And now they're gonna rescue the thing. I didn't understand that, but I don't expect Hollywood to write cohesive stuff. I just don't want them to offend me. That's all. I told you, I've lowered my bar. I don't expect them to come up with a great story that makes a whole lot of sense. But of course, I knew if I talked to you, I would end up hating this movie, and now it's already happening.
Yeah, she locks Indiana Jones in a cage with the Nazis. She saves her own ass, and she purposely leaves Indiana Jones in there to get killed by the Nazis. And he's like, Helena, wait! And she's like, sorry, you know. See you next time, and she runs away with the Dial of Destiny. Yeah, she leaves him there to get killed.
All right, that's not good. And she's supposed to be his goddaughter, and that's not good. Now I didn't even know that. I missed that part.
She calls them Wompads. Yeah, it's in the first half hour of the movie. Yeah, when they first had their conversation, they meet at a bar. Hey, I'm your best friend's daughter. Remember me? Okay, I'm looking for the Dial of Destiny. He's, okay, I know where it is. Follow me to this warehouse. You know. And he shows it to her, and then the Nazis arrive and start killing people. So they're like, oh, we got to get out of here. And she runs from the cage and locks him in there. And takes the Dial of Destiny.
Locking part.
And then she starts jumping over buildings and stuff to get away. Yeah.
Yeah, that was not so great. I did, though, really enjoy. I did enjoy the whoever the American government people were working with the Nazis.
The CIA.
The CIA. I enjoyed their 70s and 60s their 60s outfits. I thought they were
the black girl. Yeah.
Yeah. I liked
the Pam Grier wannabe.
Pam Grier. I liked the Pam Grier wannabe. Yes, I did. Yeah. I thought that the time of it, like the costumes and stuff, were cool, and I liked that. I thought it was funny that they made the CIA the bad guys. I thought it was great that they made the CIA in bed with the Nazis, because everybody knows the CIA is the worst people on earth. So, I liked that part. That to me is not woke. That's true. It's true that the CIA is awful and the CIA is in bed with bad people. So of course they're bad.
Yeah. But what bothered me a lot about that, a woke scene that I saw, was, remember, when we get introduced to the Nazi guy, played by Mads Mikkelsen, he's there, and there's that black servant that works in the hotel that brings him his breakfast or whatever.
Yeah.
And he starts questioning him about where he's from. Where are you from, boy?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I'm from Brooklyn. No, where are you from? And they close up on his face. So obviously this black waiter, this bellboy, the room service guy, he's obviously clearly upset that he's being, questioned like this by a white guy. Like, it's very racist, They put the camera on his face slowly to see his facial expressions, to being talked to this way by a white guy, So clearly James Mangold is trying to convey something here. Okay, that this man is not good. He's a racist, but he's not saying he's a racist.
Literally
he's
a Nazi.
Acting like yes, exactly. He's a Nazi pretending to be not.
But we know he's a Nazi, so of course it made sense to me that he would be, offensive.
Yeah, and that's fine. He's the bad guy. That's fine. But look at the black guy's face. They're going to this like Like he wants to say something back to this guy, but he can't because he'll lose his job. So he's just like, all right, sir, like that. So obviously they're trying to communicate something there. Later on in the movie, the black girl that works for the CIA, she calls the white guy honky.
Does she?
A cracker. She called him a cracker. She called him a cracker. Oh, no. Hey, you dumb cracker.
Oh, no.
Okay, she said it to one of the Nazis, one of the henchmen. Okay, one of the evil Nazis that kills people. She called him a cracker. She got pissed off at him and called him a cracker. And he's just like, this is the same guy that has no problem killing little kids. But this black woman just called him a cracker. And he's just like, like that,
Well, I'm not opposed
to
racial. I'm not opposed to racial slurs. I think everyone should calm down, and if they want to use, and if people want to use racial slurs for whatever reason, I don't care. And I think free speech is more important. But I think you're right.
Either everyone uses racial slurs or nobody does.
No, I agree. Either everybody does or nobody does. The double standard is ridiculous. The double standard is dumb. Outpost Nerd makes a very good point. Were you even paying attention to the movie? All right, listen. I have a hard time paying attention. I have attention deficit disorder really bad. But I wasn't looking at my phone or anything, but I missed stuff. Which is why I watch movies more than once, because I miss stuff a lot. I did go to the bathroom one time, so maybe but not during any of these things that I have missed already that Diego has pointed out. But maybe that's why I liked it, because I have the ability to like block out stuff. Like my brain doesn't keep up with everything at once. So I'm focusing on something that's happening on the screen and I'll miss something else. So I don't see it until the second or third time I watch it. Yes, that's me. Squirrel. So I might be distracted by the Pam Grier character's costume, right? I'm distracted by how cool she looks. And I don't really hear what she says. I don't really hear. Yeah. And that's upsetting to like my kids, because I don't hear what they say either most of the time. I even went to go get my hearing checked because I was sure I was going deaf. I was sure. And then I took all the tests and the woman comes out and she goes, "You hear things that only animals hear. So your ears are fine. Your ears are better than anyone's I've been testing." She goes, do you have like any like neurological deal? Anything? I'm like, "Oh, yes, I have ADD." She goes, "Oh, well, that's what it is. You have attention problems. That's all. It's not your." So I had to go and tell my kids, "Okay, it's not that I can't hear you. I am blocking you out." And I don't mean to, but I am blocking you out. You can only hear mom, 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 mom so many times before it's like, I don't know. I just don't hear it anymore. So yeah. So that happens to me when I'm watching movies. And so I do miss things. And this is why I wanted to talk to Diego, because everyone is so upset about this movie. And I just came away from it going, hey, that was better than I expected. I expected it to be terrible. In fact, when my husband said, "We're going to go to Indiana Jones, we're taking the family and we're going," I went, "What? We are? We're going to watch that movie? Everyone hates it. Why would we do that?" And he goes, "Because we haven't seen it, and why not? It's the 4th of July and the kids want to see a movie." So I'm like, okay, I guess I'll give it a chance. And I liked it because I don't know. I obviously did miss these things. I missed the locking in the cage part. I did think that she was weird, a weird character. What is even her name in the movie? I can't even remember.
Helena Shaw.
Helena. I didn't like Helena's character, but I thought she was shady as shit, trying to, sell the dial. But they had to have some kind of storyline. So I guess, but then she didn't stay consistent. If she was going to be like this kind of bad girl, they didn't keep it consistent. Then she suddenly cares about him. And like, now that you're saying she locked him in the cage with Nazis, it's like, now it makes even less sense. Because if she left him there to die, and then later she can't leave him in the past because for what? She loves this guy that she earlier locked in a cage with Nazis. Now I'm starting to hate it, Diego. I knew this.
She's smarter. She's smarter than him. She's a better archaeologist than him. She's tougher than him. She's according to her, she's more beautiful than him. She has sex with more people than he does. All that stuff. And she points that out to him throughout the entire movie. You know,
Well,
it's
see,
like
no, I didn't see any of that, and maybe I missed it, but like I thought the only time I heard like an old joke was him making it against himself when they were climbing that wall, and I was laughing. I thought that was funny. It's funny when you poke fun of yourself for being older
she
or
tells him.
geeky.
She said that's a nice hat you have on there. It makes you look a good 2 years younger. Remember that?
Yeah, I guess I missed that. I don't know. I was waiting for her to be offensive to me, and I just it didn't come off to me that way. I didn't see like a bunch of old jokes. She wasn't doing a bunch of I'm better than you stuff. And he was not only keeping up with her, he was doing better than her.
Okay, remember that scene where they're being chased down those narrow hallways and those tiny little vehicles?
Yeah.
And he's like, "What's wrong with you?" And she's like, "What? I'm young, I'm beautiful, I'm smart, I'm strong, I'm braver than you are. Is that what's wrong with me?"
I mean,
she says that in the movie.
She's not, but she's not likable. To me, that wasn't likable. That didn't make me want to go, oh, I really like her. I'm still rooting for Indy. I want Indy to kick her ass.
Yeah. Indiana Jones never had to do those things. He never had to remind the audience about how hot he was or how great he was. Okay, we knew by watching him.
Right.
Okay,
but
he had humility. He wasn't invincible.
I heard that they have scrapped all their plans to give her the franchise, that they were going to continue the franchise.
They have to. Kathleen Kennedy's going to get fired.
Yeah.
She should have gotten fired after the Rise of Palpatine, Rise of Skywalker. She should have been fired after that, but no, they still kept her around because I think she has a lot of blackmail information on a lot of these Hollywood executives. I think she does. She's been around long enough. Yeah. That's why they haven't fired her.
She had the nerve to call him a grave robber and then turn around and try and sell the dial. Yeah, and I thought they were doing that on purpose to make her unlikable. I didn't like her, but I thought that was the point. I thought that was the point of her character. We weren't supposed to like her. Were we supposed to like her?
We never liked her.
Were we supposed to like her though?
Oh yeah, she was supposed to continue the franchise.
Right.
So, yeah, we were supposed to like her.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I guess So if they really thought we were supposed to like her and they tried to write this character as someone we would like, they failed in that miserably. Because Indiana
Jones would never try to sell an artifact. Okay, he was always about it belongs in a museum. It belongs in a museum. Okay. His dad was that way too. His father was that way too. Remember?
Yeah.
You know, so he was not like her at all. Okay, he wasn't grave robbing. He wasn't like pillaging mummies and stuff like that to gold like she is. You know, Now this object that she wanted was something that was very dear to her father. It was her father spent his whole life trying to get the other half of this thing, this Dial of Destiny, right? And once she gets one half of it, what does she try to do? She tries to sell it. Okay, and that should tell you something about how she felt about her father. It made no sense because she's supposed to be doing all this because she loved her dad. Then why would you try to sell the thing that your dad loved? Why would you try to sell that on the black market?
That didn't make sense.
You would want to keep it for yourself as something that reminds you of him, something that was so important to your dad, that now you're going to hold on to it because it's a symbol of your father.
But I got this.
She just tried to sell it.
I got this opinion too, that she was angry with her father. So it made sense to me that she was trying to sell this thing that had ruined their lives. It had made him go crazy and it had ruined their lives.
I thought that too. But then Indiana Jones tells her in the movie, because she says that she memorized all of her father's notes on the Dial of Destiny. She memorized everything. She doesn't need the book. She memorized everything that her father wrote down about it. And later on, Indiana Jones tells her, no one memorizes everything that their father wrote down if they didn't care about their father.
But isn't it true though that even when a child goes through you have a love-hate relationship with parents sometimes, like where you really hate what they did, but you can't let go of that love because it's parental child love, which of course never goes away. Even if your parent is an abuser, even if your parent, I see this in my investigations into foster care and the kids who are taken from abusers, even when these parents have drug addictions and neglect issues, those kids actually do better, statistically speaking, with that drug addicted, neglectful parent than they do in foster care. And they love their parent. They end up, being caretakers for that parent in a lot of instances. And that's a really hard. And of course, as an adult that went through that, you have all these feelings of resentment towards that parent, but you also still love them. So that was something true. You could have those feelings of hatred towards a parent, but still love them. So I understood that, but I didn't get the impression that they were trying to make us like her. She was unlikable. And that's why I didn't understand why she suddenly makes a turnaround at the end. Like what is it that makes her there was no catalyst for her to change.
Yes, there was nothing. You remember Antonio Banderas was also in the movie. Remember him?
Yeah.
Remember how he gets killed on the boat? Okay, once they get away from the Nazis.
I loved that cameo. I liked seeing him again. That was kind of fun.
Remember when they got away from the Nazis and she started jumping up and down the boat like, "Yeah, we tricked them, we beat them," And then Indiana Jones, hey, my friend just got killed.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? My friend just died, and you're over here jumping around like a cheerleader.
Yeah.
Like he had to point that out to her.
That's
like,
why
what the hell are you doing?
That's why I don't think they wanted us to like her. I think they allowed her to be the hated, she just ended up being this unlikable wretch. But wait, that's another.
Why put her in the movie? Why put her in the movie?
That you just reminded me of a scene that I loved was that underwater scene with the eels. I laughed so hard when they saw something in the water and he's like, "What is that?" And he's like, they're like eels, or they're eels, and she goes, "They're like snakes." He's like, "They're not like snakes." I loved that. We got a huge laugh out of that. And then when they all started coming out at him, oh, that was so good. That was so funny. We loved that part. I liked that part. I thought it was it was a good throwback. I mean, I did say after we walked out of there, I'm like, how many of these can they make though? Because it's so formulaic at this point where I could make an Indiana Jones movie. We have to have a chase on horseback. We have to have something with bugs and snakes.
Nazis.
We have to have Nazis. We have to, and then what's going to happen. Like you just know what's coming, and then they fulfill that need to know what's coming, and they can just keep doing this. But when does it become boring? And I think that's what happened is that this becomes boring after a while.
It became boring after 1989. Okay, that's right. So it became boring after 1989. That was the rightful end of the series. Okay. Yeah. Now I was excited for Crystal Skull. They were bringing back Indiana Jones. He hadn't been around in a long time. It'd been 19 years since the last one. So I was really excited about it. And then I saw Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. And I was like, okay, this wasn't really very good. At least they gave him closure. It felt like an Indiana Jones movie. I'll give it that. So the special effects were terrible. I mean, watching Shia LaBeouf do a sword fight with Cate Blanchett was just ridiculous. It was stupid. Indiana Jones was old back then. He was in his late 60s back then. Nobody wants to see him fighting communists, fighting Russians now. Nobody wants to see that. He's too old. Okay, but at least he got back with Marion. At least there was a closure. He had an arc. He gets back with her. Okay, so the movie had a lot of faults. I know you hated it. Okay, I didn't like it either. Okay, come on. The nuclear fridge, surviving a nuclear bomb by being in a refrigerator, that was stupid as hell.
Dumb.
That made no sense.
So were the fire ants. Like I was watching that, like or whatever those ants, cannibalistic ants or whatever. Like what the hell? This is a terrible. I don't even remember most of it. I remember hating the ants part, thinking
Shia
LaBeouf. And Shia LaBeouf trying to be Marlon Brando. Yeah, Shia is terrible. That was a bad movie. But I talked to somebody the other day who the only Indiana Jones movie she's ever seen was The Crystal Skull, and I was like, oh. Please go and watch the first three. Please go and watch them. They are wonderful. In fact, my husband has been showing our 8-year-old now the originals. He hadn't seen them. So his first experience with Indiana Jones was this last one because he hadn't seen the first three. And they just watched Raiders. But I was a little worried because there are images in that are scary I saw it when I was his age. I was 8 or maybe 7. And it scared the shit out of me. And I just wanted to make sure he didn't, have nightmares or whatever. But my husband did a good job explaining to him before they watched it about the wax museum. They had just seen this thing about wax museums. And he's like, okay, so when the guy's face melts off, I just want to tell you that's a wax statue and they just melt it. It's fine. It's no big deal. It's fake. When I was his age, though, that scene, man, that played over and over in my head for a long time. But that's also a sign of a good movie, right? Where you're like, practical effects. Yeah.
Practical effects, no CGI.
Yeah, Dr. Jones.
Absolutely.
Dr. Jones.
Yeah. Those movies were incredible.
It wasn't.
You can't put Indiana Jones in the 1950s.
I felt something of a spark. I didn't hate that part. I didn't hate the time of him
Walk around the clock, really? Walk around the clock and Indiana Jones don't go together.
I didn't hate him being older though, and like seeing that I'm interested in that. Like I said, I think you and I came up with the solution, which would have been he and Marion should have been sent on this adventure together. They should have been forced into this adventure together so they rediscover something. And we missed that whole thing. Like that could have been good. That could have been really great. I did see certain sparks of what I loved about Indiana Jones in this movie. It wasn't all like that. It was obviously what Hollywood is not capable of making those movies anymore, Diego. Are we ready to give up on them? Because I think I've given up. That's why I didn't hate it, because my bar is so low for them that anything that creeps above that bar, which is way down here, I'm like, okay.
AI is going to write all the movies in the future anyway, so we're just going to get more of this shit. We're just going to get more of this shit. The writer's on strike right now. You know that, right?
Oh yeah.
So,
Hold on.
Nothing's getting made right now.
Speaking of AI, have you seen this? Because this is going to give you nightmares. If AI is going to start writing all movies, then be prepared for this. This is an AI generated trailer for Heidi. And it's going to scare the shit out of you. You will never sleep again after watching.
Not Heidi. No, not Heidi. Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
Oh.
Keep watching. It gets so much worse.
Heidi, wenn hier oben bist du zum Haus, dunkle
Why is AI like this?
grüne Wiesen im
Look at this thing! Look at this!
Heidi, brauchst du zum Glück
Oh, and it keeps going. Oh. Look at this. When were there angry villagers in Heidi? Look at this.
A nightmare.
It gets worse. Oh my God, what's this thing? What did I just
Oh my God, that was a nightmare. That's like a bad dream I had.
Oh my God, that's what AI is. That's what's coming for us, folks, with AI writing thing.
Oh my God. Dude, that looked nothing like Jennifer Edwards. That looked nothing like Jennifer Edwards.
And when did Heidi have a town full of villagers with pitchforks and were revolting against the demon animals? I don't understand.
No, they need to do that like with Pippi Longstocking, and they need to do that, Not Heidi.
Oh
Not my beloved Heidi.
I love that book. Heidi is a great book.
I remember the movie, the 1968 movie.
Oh, it's a great
I remember that. It's been a long time.
Movie. Oh,
I like Pippi Longstocking better, but
so true. Outpost Nerd says this is why aliens don't come here. They receive transmissions like this and decide to stay away. You guys,
those Swedish movies where they dubbed it in English. Yeah.
Let's check in on the wheel. Let's check in on the wheel and see where we're at. So I don't think we're going to get to a raffle today because we haven't got enough. We haven't got enough of the Rumble rants and the Venmos and Cash Apps. So we're going to have to probably push it out to till tonight. We've got like a few of you in here. I got you all. Did I miss anybody? Let me check my Rumble rants. Hold on. Where are you? Here you are. And I don't know if like the Cash App thing is not working, but it's not showing me. Nope. Okay. All right. So if you guys want to end up in the book raffle today, we got to do better than we're doing. So don't forget, the show has been demonetized. And if you guys miss me on here, you got to support the show, period. Because I can't come on and hang out for 2 hours with you and make $10. No, I cannot. I cannot do it. I will not do it. I'll just go get fired from another bar by another 20-year-old before I do that.
Can I say something real quick? It's about Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
George Lucas based Indiana Jones on those old action serials from the 1930s and 40s that he watched when he was a little boy. That's what he based Indiana Jones on. He also was thinking about James Bond. You know, what is an American James Bond? But he didn't want to rip off James Bond, which was why it was actually good that he got Sean Connery, James Bond himself, to play Indiana Jones' father, because that's kind of how he saw it. He saw Indiana Jones as a spin-off of a James Bond, like an American James Bond. Okay, but he based it on those action serials from the 30s and 40s, which were very popular back in the cinemas, you know, back then when he was a little boy. Okay, now those movies were based on novels written by H. Rider Haggard. Okay, an English novelist. Okay, he wrote the King Solomon's Mines. He wrote all these Alan Quartermain stories about this British guy who goes to Africa and just fights a bunch of like natives there and kills elephants, you know, and screws all the princesses and all. He's basically an Indiana Jones character. It was based on Alan Quartermain. Even when Indiana Jones became big, of course, Hollywood started copying it, you know, so they came out with the King Solomon's Mine with the Richard Chamberlain and Sharon Stone. They came out with Buckaroo Banzai. They came out with all sorts of like rip-offs of Indiana Jones in the early 80s. If you remember that time, everyone kept ripping off Indiana Jones because it was so popular. Okay, but Indiana Jones belongs in that time period, the 1930s and the 40s, where he's fighting the Nazis. He's going on adventures. He's an archaeology professor. That's where he belongs. He belongs in the world of the serials. If you move him into the 1950s and the 1960s, out of place. That's a different genre. Okay, the 50s alien stuff, that's a different genre. He doesn't belong there. You put him in the 1960s, that's civil rights. That's the blaxploitation movies, you know. That's the hippies, you know, listening to the goddamn Beatles and protesting the Vietnam War and all that. You know, the space race. That's a different genre. Okay, getting high. That's a different genre. Okay, the fucking Jesus Christ Superstar and Hair and you know Godspell. No, he doesn't belong there.
Well, you're right about that. See, Diego has so many good points. You're right about that. Indiana Jones is out of place in that decade, but he would be alive. So there is the question of what would he be like then? Like what would he be?
His son should be the archaeologist. He shouldn't be dead in Vietnam. His son should be out there doing this stuff.
I thought that with the time machine, maybe they would go back and convince him not to join or something, not to join that stupid war in the first place.
Lucasfilm will never hire Shia LaBeouf again. He's blacklisted from Lucasfilm because he talked shit about Steven Spielberg after the last movie. So Harrison Ford and Steven Spielberg blacklisted Shia LaBeouf after that. After he talked shit about Crystal Skull, no problem. Recast him. Get Chris Pratt to play his son. I'd rather see Chris Pratt than see Shia LaBeouf anyway. You know, you recast him. Send him on an adventure.
Yeah, just recast him. Absolutely, and I would absolutely see Chris Pratt in that. He would be great. He would do that role well. Absolutely.
And he's also named Indiana Jones. He's also Henry Jones III. So yeah, he can call himself Indiana. Let him go out there. Every once in a while, Dad will check up on him. Mom and Dad will check up on him.
True. Yeah, you could do like a Last Crusade style with except with Indy and his kid. Because really, the Last Crusade was so great. It does not get better than that movie. I love Raiders and the other one, Temple of Doom.
Now, I watched the TV show. Okay, the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. I watched that show. I own every episode. Okay, they made a TV show about the Young Indiana Jones. It was with,
I think I did watch
Sean Patrick Flannery.
I have no memory of it, but I feel like I saw it.
And they showed Indiana Jones, and he was a little boy as well as a teenager. And they had episodes that dealt with him and his dad, the relationship he had with his father. So you got this young man playing basically Sean Connery, his character. They had adventures when he was young, you know. So I got to see more of a backstory about what Indiana Jones was like with his dad when he was a little boy. His dad was always off and away. He brought his family with him to Europe and stuff to go on these archaeological tours and stuff like that. So I saw the back history that they had. Okay, but when we actually watched the movie at the end, remember his dad was obsessed with the Holy Grail. That was his passion in life. Okay, he wanted to find that Grail. That's what he wanted. Okay, in fact, Indy thought he cared more about this Grail than he cared about his own son. That was a subtext, his father and son relationship. You know, and at the very end, oh my God, I'm gonna choke up. I'm sorry, I'm gonna choke up. That part at the end, you know, where he almost grabbed the Grail. You know, he's almost got it, Dad. Almost got it. You know, he's like saying, like, I almost got what you've been looking for, Dad. I almost got it. I'm gonna get it for you right now. He's like, no, let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go. Give him the choice. Indy makes the choice because his dad made the choice. You are more important to me than that goddamn Grail.
Right.
See what I mean?
That was a great part. All these movies.
Tells him,
They were so good. And like that one was the best to me. The Last Crusade was the best. And because of that father-son relationship and because of that finally coming back together and realizing he does love me. He really does. You know, I love
the new movie. The new movie, okay? This new one, The choice was taken away from Indiana Jones. He wanted to stay and die. He wanted to kill himself. And Helena Shaw had to knock him out to bring him back to the present. You see, it took away the choice. It took away his choice. You see what I mean? That's the difference between part 3 and part 5. Yeah. He had no choice. He wanted to die. He was all of a sudden, this guy who lived so much life all of a sudden became suicidal? That makes no sense.
Well, I kind of understood it because I understood that he was also in total grief over losing his son and his wife. And he had nothing to go back to except that college where kids don't understand him anymore. No one cared.
They don't respect him.
They didn't respect him.
He would be the coolest teacher in the world. Oh my God. Kids will be fighting to be in his class.
Like remember at the beginning of The Last Crusade, all the girls like with I love you on their
he was sleeping with this. They loved him.
Come on, he's Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Remember how they were lining up to get to his office for office hours? Remember?
Yes.
He was the most popular teacher there.
Why would that have changed? Why is
no
he
reason.
Like, yeah. And
they turned him into Luke Skywalker. A fucking hermit, living in a shitty apartment, suicidal, getting drunk every day. He's the old man that bangs on his neighbors. Hey, turn your music down. Get off my lawn.
Get off my
that's
lawn.
Not Indiana Jones. That's not Indiana Jones.
Well, to be fair, we all become that person at some point.
But Indy wouldn't. Okay, we're not all Indiana Jones. This guy loves life. Okay, he's seen things. How can he be an atheist?
Also, what was with the guy? Okay, I don't remember his name because I don't remember anything. But the guy that was I think he was in the Temple of Doom with him, who makes an appearance in the film. The guy who wears the funny hat, the red hat. God.
Oh no, that's Salah.
Yeah,
John Rice Davis. Salah, yeah.
He makes this offer that he wants to go with him and have this adventure, and I was like,
my
yes,
passports.
Yes,
I brought my passport. Indeed.
Why even write that in if you're just going to be like, nah, you're good, it's fine, and like
they only put him in the movie. They only put him in the movie so he could be in the trailer, so that audiences would go, "Oh, Salah comes back! Yeah, yay, Salah! I love Salah."
Why didn't he go with? That doesn't make sense.
He's a fucking taxi driver.
Yeah,
this guy helped him. This guy helped him get the fucking Ark of the Covenant, and now he's a fucking taxi driver. Really?
I didn't understand why he didn't go with. I was expecting this to be an adventure with the old cast as older people. You know
why?
Why?
You know why he didn't go? Because the people that made this movie, James Mangold, knew damn well that if Salah went on this adventure with Indiana Jones, that nobody would give a crap about Helena Shaw anymore.
But see, we don't give a crap about her. She should have been a secondary nothing character. She should have been the bad girl.
Oh, you obviously don't understand Lucasfilm today.
Yeah.
Lucasfilm is run by Kathleen Kennedy. Okay, this ultra feminist. I hate men.
I know.
I hate men. She puts herself in all the franchises.
She must be
Rey Skywalker, Helena Shaw, Willow. She destroyed Willow already. They already pulled that from Disney Plus after 6 months of new episodes. They pulled it.
Kathleen Kennedy is happy with this movie? With the remake? I don't think so. I don't think that she could possibly be happy with this because her influence was pretty much erased out of this movie because everyone hated it so much. So I don't know why she would be proud of this because it didn't get almost none of the stuff she wanted. Sir Clipsalot says nostalgia bait. Yes, Salah was nostalgia bait, and I don't appreciate that. I don't appreciate that, but I don't know. I don't know if Kennedy, if she. This has got to feel like a loss to her. Is she going to blame the box office, though? She'll probably blame the box office on them taking out her influence in it.
No, I think this whole movie, everything at Lucasfilm since 2012 has been her influence, okay? She made Star Wars about a girl. Oh, everything, okay? Everything.
Look, I like The Mandalorian. I've liked all of the seasons of that.
Have you seen season 3? Did you see season 3?
Yes, and everyone I think just overreacted.
You and I were the only ones that watched it, okay? You and I were the only ones that watched that season. The Bo-Katan show. The Bo-Katan show, okay?
Well, I like her, though. I like that actress. I like her.
Watching Baby Yoda do flips in the air and beat up little kids? Yeah.
That was dumb. Agreed.
Oh, guess what? What's his name? Was the bad guy again in this? He was a surprise villain again, just like he was a surprise villain in the past 2 seasons too.
Wait, which one? Now I'm forgetting.
the Latino guy. I forgot the one in the Darth Vader outfit. What's the one from Breaking Bad? You know what I'm talking about?
Darth.
That guy.
No.
He's the main bad guy.
God, I forgot already. I've saw it
Juan
once.
Esposito or something. Yeah.
Moff Gideon. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Moff Gideon. Exactly. Yeah.
Right. I knew he wasn't dead.
But he was the surprise villain in season 1 at the end. He's the surprise villain at the end of season 2. Yeah. And then he's the surprise villain at the end of season 3. Like, they can't keep this guy in jail. He keeps getting out.
Yeah, right.
Come on.
I know. Why don't they just shoot him already? I don't understand why he keeps living. I guess they can't come up for any. They can't come up for any with any new ones. You know. Oh, Flux! It finally came in. I got it. Flux said $5 for the re-education and film fund. Oh, Flux, that's funny. I finally got it. Thank you.
Yeah, the Bo-Katan show. No, it's Giancarlo Esposito. Okay, it's like no, the Bo-Katan show. Where's the Mandalorian? Where's Pando Mando?
That was the one thing that bothered me, was that we didn't get enough Mando. And at some point, I had forgotten about certain storylines. And then when it would come back, it would be like, oh, yeah, what happened to that? You know, like, it's been a while. But I really liked that weird city they went to where, what's his face? Jack Black shows up. I didn't think that was any big deal. Like, I don't know.
First of all, it wasn't just Jack Black. It was Lizzo also. Lizzo.
Minutes. So... And so who cares? But the city itself and that scenery and that kind of thing, I thought was kind of neat. And like
Doc Brown, Christopher Lloyd, Doc Brown, Back to the Future is the bad guy.
Yeah,
Doc Brown.
Yeah, seeing him again was a little strange because I didn't think he did a great acting job in that. None of them did in that particular episode. But still, I mean, the kids love it. We like Mando. We love the music. The music is great. Jack Black wasn't so great. Lizzo was worse. At least Jack.
There was a lot more wrong.
At least
remember that whole episode they did without Mando in it on Coruscant.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Outpost Nerd. How can you leave? Your name is Nerd, and you're like, I gotta go. No more nerd talk. But you've named yourself Nerd. Unbelievable. This is unbelievable to me. It seems like the pot calling the kettle black. You got to have the nerd convos once in a while. All right. Well, today is a beach day. I'm taking the kids to the beach because it's my day off from my jobs. Well, I guess job, because I think I only have one left. So I promised to take my kids to the beach. So that's what I'm going to do. Diego, what are your last thoughts on things?
Don't make any more Indiana Jones movies. Okay. It ended with the Holy Grail. Okay. Last Crusade. That's the last Indiana Jones movie. Okay. Should have ended there. Don't make any more. Harrison Ford's too old. Okay. He's not doing this because he needs the money. He's doing this for his grandkids' fucking trust funds. That's what he's doing this for. Okay, he's doing this for his wife. Okay, Alan McBeal. Okay, who demanded that Phoebe Waller-Bridge be in the movie with her husband. Okay, because she's she's a modern feminist, a third wave feminist. Emasculate men. Don't make any more Indiana Jones movies. Watch the original ones. Watch the first 3. Those are the best ones. Okay, there's a lot of heart in there. There was a lot of love put into those stories, those characters. A lot of talent was involved in that. Those are the best Indiana Jones movies. Watch the Indiana Jones Chronicles. They're not as exciting, okay, but every once in a while you'll come across some really good episodes. I love the one where Indiana Jones was with he teamed up with Ernest Hemingway and what's his name, Elliot Ness in an episode. That was awesome. They all went to school together in Chicago. I'm from Chicago, so I knew that area. Things like that. Indiana Jones was born in Chicago. I like that a lot too. Indiana Jones is a great franchise, but you can't continue it. It belongs somewhere. It needs to stay there. Okay. Don't bring it back.
I wish Hollywood would stop doing this to our favorite movies. I think Hollywood is not in a place right now where they have any right to take our favorite movies and try to add on or make them something else, because they do such a poor job of it. It wasn't as good as The Last Crusade. And if you can't make an Indiana Jones movie as good or better than the last one, then it shouldn't be made. For for nostalgia purposes, I enjoyed seeing Harrison Ford come back as Indiana Jones, and I enjoyed seeing Marion. I didn't hate the action scenes. I didn't have those feelings with the Crystal Skull. Like, I hated that movie. I hated it with everything I was, and I didn't feel that.
It wasn't good. It was not good.
No, it was bad. I ignore it.
It was better than this.
Like it never, like it never existed. But I don't agree with you that it was better than this one. I actually was able to enjoy this one. But now that I've sat around and talked to you about it, now I'm like, yeah, it was bad. It was bad. I'll admit it. It wasn't great. I still think the Crystal Skull was worse. But thank you so much for being here, Diego. We have so much more to talk about. I want to get into that Saturday Night Fever thing sometime with you. And I'll have to watch it again through your perspective. All right, everybody. Take care. Make sure you go and subscribe.
I know. I've done the whole thing. I've done the whole dance.
You're going to have to do, maybe we'll come back and you can do that on screen. Go and subscribe. What is the name of your Rumble channel? I got to find you on Rumble so I can drop.
It's Diego de la Vega Knows. Diego de la Vega Knows.
All right, let's see. I'm going to go find it right now.
I think it's Zorro. Yeah, I think I like Zorro.
Knows. Am I spelling De La Vega right? Yes.
Capital D.
3 followers. Oh no, we got to do better.
Yeah,
than this.
I know.
We got to do better than this.
Okay.
No. We got to do better than this. Guys, go over to Rumble, and on my Rumble page, hold on, I got to get back over to my my channel. And where the hell is it? Okay. I'm coming into the chat right now on Rumble. Go and subscribe to Diego Knows on Rumble so he gets that number up. We got to get that number up for you, because YouTube is not going to be a sustainable source for anybody who.
It's not going to be around much longer. I'll tell you that right now. It's not going to be around much longer.
And
YouTube is starting to feel it.
You think? I don't know, but
the people are rising. 2023 are rising up. The year we're rising up.
You're not going to be around on YouTube much longer, because you tell the truth, and people who tell the truth are not allowed. Melanie, thank you so much for the Venmo. She says, more Megan Fox, don't give up. And you guys who are in it for the raffle, I am putting you on the wheel. I'm saving it. And tonight at 8 p.m., I'm going to be on with Mike Harlow on his channel on YouTube and Rumble. I think he's on Rumble. Yeah, he's on Rumble. And we will continue the Wheel of Fortune here for the book giveaway. And when we hit $100, I'm going to give one away, a signed copy to the person who wins. So come back tonight at 8 p.m. on Mike Harlow's channel. If you follow me on Locals, meganfox.locals.com, you will get the notification and the link to where that will be. Please do follow me on Locals. If you can't subscribe, that's okay too. You're still going to get all the notifications. You will still get content there from me. But if you do subscribe for $5 a month, it's very cheap. You're going to get recaps of And Just Like That. I'm not putting them on YouTube. They're only going on Locals. It's a Locals exclusive. You get the recaps there. You'll get the truth there, because I can't post stuff on YouTube anymore without them harassing me. And it's cheap, guys. It's $5 a month. And if you use my promo code SQUATS, you'll get an entire year with 2 months free on me. So SQUATS is the promo. Please use it on Locals. meganfox.locals.com. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I've missed you guys. And it's been a pleasure talking to you, Diego. I love talking to you. We're going to do it again soon. For all things entertainment, see Diego Knows. He knows what he's talking about. Yeah. And
just like that. And just like that. I'm reviewing it just like that right now. All the episodes.
All the
new ones.
You can't miss his reviews. They're so funny. In fact, go watch some of them right now. All right, guys. Later.
Lost, my world is near its end. I almost felt my head is full of a million choices. I am alive, I'm not here to pretend. I love my friends, my heart is filled with a million voices. Oh, this road has many choices. Oh, and my heart, million voices. Come next to me, my friend, embrace the sky. I'm not afraid to fly. It's not the time to say goodbye. I don't wanna say goodbye. No, I don't wanna say. time I know my road is near its end. I almost felt my head is full of a million choices. I am alive, I'm not here to pretend. I love my friends, my heart is filled with a million voices. Oh, this road has many choices. In my heart, million voices. Come next to me, my friend, embrace the sky. I'm not afraid to fly. It's not the time to say goodbye. I don't wanna say goodbye. No, I don't wanna stay. No, I don't wanna say goodbye.
So I take it that
Johnny's
you've
problem
seen
is he
Tamara
should
and
come
Johnny's
storming
bedroom
in there with
Yeah.
a string of
Do you
garlic
recall when
and
we
some
went
holy
into
water.
Mr.
And a
Judson's
cross,
first
a crucifix
bedroom?
one.
May the
Do you
power of
recall,
Christ
or no,
compel you.
No, I don't.
He
believe so.
realized
Miss
his house
Hubbard,
was infested with
just after
succubuses.
that,
And
there's a photo of what it, yes. Do you recall what that was there when you arrived in the afternoon? I don't remember seeing it now. So while she
No wonder he said drown her before you burn her.
Oh my god.
You-
Your next witness?
Now I know
Witness
why he wanted to drown her.
Laces, and that
Next
is
witness
also
lives in
by
Romania.
video.
Is that correct?
That begins with Miss Vasquez.